Welcome to the Bold Goal Crusher podcast. For anyone looking to stop letting life get in the way and start crushing bold goals. I'm your host, Sara Mayer, and I'm thrilled to navigate this journey with you because it's time to start boldly achieving without working double time. So let's dive in. Hello, Bold Goal Crushers. I am so excited about this episode today and my guest. I think you're really going to gain some interesting perspective from somebody who has truly been crushing her goals. So, without further ado, let me introduce you to my guest today. After leaving a successful corporate career in Switzerland at Fortune 500 companies like UBS and Accudenture, Dovile started building her own online empire, and today she has co-founded not one, not two, but three successful online companies, including an affiliate marketing site working with the biggest brands in the industry, an SEO agency, and a membership platform for entrepreneur moms in Lithuania. After the past several years, she's built a personal brand for herself from zero and supported hundreds of female entrepreneurs seeking to shift their lives and build online income sources. Her signature method combines personal development, success mindset, innovative marketing, and business strategies to help clients achieve results. She's a world traveler, currently escaping cold European winters to being in Bali with her 2.5-year-old daughter, and she's passionate about helping more women reach true financial, time, and lifestyle freedom. I am so excited to have you on the show today. I know that so many things that you've done will apply to our listeners, and I can't wait to dive in.
Thank you, Sarah, for this nice introduction. And hello, everyone that's listening. I'm excited to be here, excited to share my story and inspire at least one of you to
Yeah,
crush your goals. Yeah.
I love it. So many of our listeners are sitting in their cubes. They want to do something different, or they might be sitting at home now post COVID, but they're not really enjoying what they're doing and they want to live a completely different life. And it seems that you have done that. So tell me a little bit about your journey. How did you end up where you're out in Bali now?
Yeah, exactly. We were just chatting that it's morning in Bali. And 5 years ago, I think I was in my corporate career. I was in Switzerland. I had a successful job. I the usual. I studied, then I thought I went to good university. I graduated and I got into corporate. And
Mhm.
I thought, okay, that's all what I wanted. That's my dream. But for some reasons, I was sitting there, not in a cubicle, it was more like open space, but still. And I was thinking, is that it? Is my life supposed to be like this? Then I would speak to my colleagues, and none of them actually seemed entirely happy
Mm.
being in banking, being in consulting. And I was lucky probably because my husband was in entrepreneurship. He was in startups. So I would see him living a completely different lifestyle. And I would always come home tired after work and just living that Monday to Friday. And you shut off your computer on Friday, but still you have all these deadlines coming out, all the big projects. And you just feel like you're just living on an autopilot. And
Yeah.
I would feel a little bit jealous of my husband having more freedom, being in more entrepreneurial environment.
Mhm.
So we would talk, but I always thought that I'm not an entrepreneur. That's how I grew up. I thought I would never do it. I will be happy just working for somebody else. And I didn't even consider that as an option for me. But after years and years, I actually wanted to quit initially after 4 years in corporate, but I didn't have the gut. Probably I was like thinking what that could be. I didn't know. So I just changed the job. I went from one company to another, but it didn't change the fact that I didn't really enjoy working in an office or being probably in a financial sector. And then, yeah, long story short, one day we made a decision with my husband to, for both of us, to actually quit the jobs that we had and start something new.
Ooh,
And
wow. That's a bold move.
yeah, we didn't actually know what it's going to be. So that was a bit frightening because we thought, okay, let's just start something. We were listening to Gary Vee a lot at that point. So that was 5 years ago. And he would always say, just do something and document. So that's how we started. We said, okay, let's maybe try to find how we can work online. And we started doing that. And one thing led to another. We packed our bags. We went to Bali first for the first time for 6 months because we thought, first of all, we need to save on costs. Living in Switzerland is pretty expensive.
I
So,
imagine. Yeah.
so if you don't get income coming in, so similar as in US. So we said, okay, we need to somehow take the cost, go to a nice place and entrepreneurial place. We heard of Bali. We've been there for a holiday. We knew there were a couple of towns that were more entrepreneurial with co-working spaces, with a lot of events happening, with a lot of digital nomads living there. So that's what we started.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And who would think that Bali would be less expensive? But you always hear about it and it sounds like such a luxury, but it sounds like it was a perfect place for you to move to, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I always say that Bali has everything. You can live very luxurious in a super nice villa, go to the best restaurant, the best experiences, and really spend maybe even more money than in Western world. But you can also live on a budget. And we were living on a really strict budget back then. So that's possible as well.
Oh, I love it. So, how have things changed though since you moved from the corporate environment to working for yourself? How did you develop that rhythm to be successful and now found three businesses?
Mhm. So I guess the first thing that I normally say is, and what I'm still working on, and I see a lot of people, entrepreneurs still working on that escaped corporate, that we still are stuck a little bit to that corporate mindset where we feel like, oh, I have to work as it's 9 to 5, or actually maybe even more because you're running your own business and you never give yourself time to rest. So this is something that I'm still working on very hard to implement because that's the main reason, like the freedom, right? Time freedom, that why I chose this path. So it's okay if in the middle of the day I need to go to kindergarten, pick up my daughter, or maybe I just want to take a break and go for a massage. That's fine, but it's still something that is quite difficult to do.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so
I had that experience too. I felt guilty, like, I went to get my nails done during the day one time, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I feel so guilty." It's like, "Why? I'm the boss. Who cares?"
exactly, we should embrace that we have this opportunity, and maybe it's even, I don't know, maybe it's even cheaper going on a weekday rather than going on a weekend. It's easier to find a
Yeah.
spot that's really good for you. Whereas on weekend or maybe evenings, you want to do something else. Yeah, but it's something we have to keep reminding ourselves. So for me in the beginning, I just said, okay, I'm going to explore everything I'm going to do. And of course, I was working really hard and I'm still working hard. Yet the past couple of months, I had a few changes. I exited two businesses. So I'm giving myself some freedom and time to explore maybe new opportunities.
I love it. And so how did you decide what you guys were gonna do when you said you didn't know what you were gonna do, but you took the leap of faith?
Yeah. So I've always been into healthy lifestyle, personal development. So first, we thought we will do a vlog. We'll just document our journey. So we looked into trying to find different ways to earn money online. But the first thing was really blogging. And that we blogged maybe for 3 weeks. That was it. But
Yeah.
in the beginning, instead of, we need an angle. So we thought, let's maybe do challenges. So basically, we started doing challenges ourselves, like no sugar challenge, 3 weeks, no sugar. And that kind of led to us developing a platform, a place where people would come and they would do challenges together with us. And we started with having a bunch of different challenges from weight loss to meditation to reading a book, 20 minutes a day. But we started noticing that a lot of people would find us online because we did pretty well in marketing and we did pretty well in search engine optimization. So people would come to us for intermittent fasting. But the funny fact here, and it's also a takeaway for anyone that's listening, is that I was saying no to that. I was really saying, okay, people come for intermittent fasting, but let's give them meditation. Let's give them this and let's give them that. And I wasn't really listening to the customer. And only actually after half a year, I said that, okay, that's it. What? Let's just focus on intermittent fasting only. So
Yeah.
it came, so long story short, I just started by doing something
Yeah.
that I felt, okay, I have my passion for this. I hear this is possible to do blogging, maybe trying to do some challenges so that people can join you. And then really listening to
Mhm.
what people are responding. Why are they coming to you? What feedback they're giving?
Yeah.
And trying to create a product or service around that.
Yeah, and I love it. I love that you gave yourselves permission to really experiment because I think so many times this happened to me. Like when I first got in business, people are like, "Well, you need to do this," and that's it. And I tried some of those things on, like you tried on the blog, you tried on other things, and they just really didn't work for me, or they were successful, but I just didn't like doing it every day. And so I think it's so important, especially when you're just starting out, to try different things and to see what works until you hit that groove.
Mhm. Yes, but I know how difficult it is
Yeah.
to actually just experiment. And you have, on one way, you have so many opportunities. And on the other hand, you just don't know where to start.
Mhm.
Because you know there's a lot, but you don't really know what is out there.
Yeah.
But it's really just start doing something that you maybe know how to do today and expand on that.
Yeah. And so now, what have you found that you're really doing on a consistent basis? What is that morphed into?
So today, as said, like I'm in this period when I'm exploring more opportunities, and
Mhm.
I actually gave myself this permission. Just a couple of weeks ago, I posted on my social media that, hey, I'm looking for new opportunities. So my doors are open. If you have something, just come up, or if you're looking for a partner to for new project. So I'm allowing myself more time, probably.
Mhm.
But what I'm really doing, of course, what I've always done and what has helped me is working on your personal brand. So
Yeah.
that is, finding a channel where you have followers. And for me, that's always been Instagram. I just loved it. And just trying to be consistent there.
Mhm.
Also, newsletter, if you start growing your subscribers, even if it's just a couple of, I don't know, a couple of people, just consistently find a channel where you can grow your personal brand.
Yeah.
So I think personal brand is key at the moment, and it will be with you whatever you do. So maybe you start blogging, and I still have people coming to me and even like signing up to be my clients. And they say, I found you there and there because you were sharing something about, I don't know, maybe yoga that I was, or
Yeah.
sports that I was following. And they like me for who I am. So they followed my journey. And maybe my offer that I had back then, something related to weight loss, didn't appear to them. But now I can help them start a business, and they sign
Yeah.
up to work with me because they have that trust. We build it over years. So
Yeah.
if you don't know what to start with, I always say my client, start with your personal brand. And we all have a brand. I love saying that,
Mhm.
how people sometimes think, but I don't have a brand. Yes, we all have a brand. We just need to strengthen it. Pick up a couple of topics that you are about, right? Be it personal development, be it entrepreneurship, be it healthy lifestyle, be it sport. and expand on those.
Yeah. What's really interesting is that some people who say, "Oh, I don't have a personal brand," like, people know you for certain things, and I think what's interesting is that sometimes people are reluctant to step into that. They're reluctant to be like, "I am about this." So how would somebody go about doing that if they've never had experience building a personal brand?
I always say start with, of course, a little bit of brainstorming. Sit down, find your I recommend finding your 4 to 5 pillars, like the main topics that I mentioned earlier, that you are about. That maybe, like you, Sarah, said, that people come to you asking for questions, topics that you like sharing about. Write them down, and underneath each of the pillar, write down topics that you could share. Why is it helpful? Because it will allow you to have a proof that you actually know a lot about the topic,
Mhm.
that you can share about the topic, and at the same time, it will serve as a content plan. When you lack of ideas, when you sit there, oh, I want to start sharing something, but I don't know what. You go back to that document, you have a look, and you have loads of ideas to talk about. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, of course, trying. Because even me, I noticed that if I'm away from social media, be it just a couple of days, it's already very difficult to pick it up and start sharing. I'm talking
Mhm.
stories in particular, because it feels old. But when you're sharing every day, it just keeps continuing. It's a habit. It's also like you're telling a story. As soon as you
Yeah.
stop, you're like, oh, where do I start? So we all have that. I have that. A lot of my clients have that. So you just need to start. And people would say, oh, but I don't have any followers. But that's great. That's actually amazing. That's where you want to be, because this is the perfect place for you to experiment. And once you then get a lot of followers, people that will convert to your clients, that's when you're already into habit of sharing. That's when you learn what people like and you found your own voice.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's so pivotal, like, it's so critical actually that you become authentic in your own voice rather than try and duplicate what other people are doing, and I think that's hard to do when you first start off with in business. So you work with a lot of entrepreneurial moms. How do you help them to balance all the things, the kids, the groceries, the everything that goes along with running a household and all that stuff and run a business?
Mhm. I tell them to give yourself permission to not be perfect, to not to try be perfect or pick up all the toys uh, everywhere, because after 5 minutes they're gonna be there again. And ask for support. That's crucial from your partners, from your family, or maybe you can
Mhm.
hire support. So especially because I work with a lot of women that are still in the corporate job. Usually what we end up doing as moms in particular, or if you have families, you're a little bit more afraid to leave your corporate, the safety of that, the salary, and go on and start something new, because you don't have really that. It's difficult to allow yourself to do that
Yeah.
because you have a lot of responsibility. So then we usually calculate and we say, okay, look, now if you're working on your own business, maybe you can allocate 1 day or a couple of hours every day and think of, okay, how much would it cost you to get help? Of course, you have to cut on something, but just look, okay, maybe you can get help like a nanny or help with your
Yeah.
kids or somebody else, and it will cost you less money than cutting off your job, right? Because
Mhm.
the how much you earn an hour is higher, and then have a look, okay, where can you put those hours? So don't think that you have to do everything.
Yeah.
That you can get support, and we all should get support. And actually, what I noticed is that so I work with both moms and women that don't have a kid yet. So the main difference is actually that moms, they know the time pressure. So actually, most cases, they even more effective when they get to work. The 2 hours for them, could mean 4 hours for somebody else. Because we
Yeah.
are just so focused. We know, okay, now we have to do this and that and that. And we don't waste the time.
Yeah.
But also it's people that come to my world that just got babies. And in the beginning they think, oh, now I have this opportunity to start something new. What they don't realize that it is really challenging for you in the beginning when you get a baby and you don't have that much time. So what I tell them at that point is use this time when you breastfeeding, when you're going for a walk, just listen to podcasts, just start surrounding yourself with more entrepreneurial people, be it in real life or through podcasts, just like with you, right? Or following certain people, listening to different courses, just like passively learning.
Mhm.
And that already will open your eyes. It will give you more opportunities. You will start seeing, okay, what is it that I can do? And then once after a year or two, when it gets easier with the baby, you will already have so much baggage. That's
Yeah.
when you can start.
Yeah.
So that at least the model that I've seen has been working a lot for most of the new moms.
Yeah. I love it. And I think one of the things that happens is that we think that we need to have everything all figured out before we start. So I love that you guys took this leap of courage. Like, how did you give yourself a safety net? Like, how did you decide like now's the time to do it?
Mhm. Yeah. So with me, we looked into, okay, we had a savings for 6 months. So
Mhm.
that's also the time we took. And I did take I had a safety net in terms of I gave my job. I worked at Accenture. So that's like a consulting firm at that time. And I took a leave of absence. That was 6 months. That meant that in 6 months, I can come back and I will
Yeah.
have my job back. So that gave me safety. Though I remember the last couple of months we went Bali and actually we were running really low on money and I knew I had to come back to my job in January and that maybe was November and I was crying. I don't want to come back. I don't want to go back to that life. What are we going to do? And we have no money because at the beginning, the first 6 months, we were just investing a lot and we were not
Yeah.
making anything. We're still like finding ourselves. And even though we started getting a lot of traffic to our site, I was like, it was still not monetized. I was like really crying. But I did come back to my job in January. But then I made a decision that I'm just going to come back. And Switzerland, we have, I know it's a luxury not, but we have notice period that is 2 months. So basically, I came back and I gave my notice immediately. So that gave me another 2 months to earn some salary. I knew already I'm leaving. So it was easier on me. My company also knew I'm leaving. So it wouldn't give me probably that much job. It worked out fine. And in those months, what we started doing is, I said, like our affiliate marketing side that it turned into now and the whole intermittent fasting platform, it was not monetized. We were getting a lot of followers, a lot of people into our site, but we didn't charge them anything. But we realized, okay, we did quite well with search engine optimization. We got a lot of
Yeah.
people here to our door. And I believe a lot of other people could benefit from this service. So then we said, okay, in the meantime, while we figure out, let's start selling it as a service. So that's how our agency was born
Oh
because
my
we really
gosh, I
needed
love it.
cash
Yeah.
and we're in the point we're back to Switzerland January. Switzerland is expensive. And we said, we need to make money fast. How do we do that? What do we know that works? SEO marketing.
Yeah.
And so with the agency, basically, I looked up all the co-working spaces in Switzerland and I just pitched myself. I said, guys, we're gonna give you a free workshop for your community. And you just have to give us like 1 hour and space. And many of them said yes. We were able to do that for free for their communities. And that's how we started spreading the word that we are SEO people.
Oh, I love it. And then you've done quite well since then.
Yeah, then it started rolling. I always say, but always I say in the beginning, it's important to turn to your network, to turn
Mm.
to real people, not as in real life connections. And then from there, you can start growing and expanding.
I love it. And I love your story, how you tried on a lot of different things. You took that leap of faith, you tried on different things, and it worked out in the end, but it may not have worked out the way you initially thought it was going to work out. And I think that takes such bold action, but also courage along the way to change it up and to really figure out what's going to work for you. And
Mhm.
ultimately to give you that freedom that you're looking for.
Yeah, I think it's important just to have, and even today, I don't know, as I said, I'm looking for new opportunities.
Mm,
I'm still mentoring a client to start their own business and working on the agency, but I'm also looking for something new, something different. And here, I don't know. So it's important to have a bigger goal. Okay,
yeah.
what kind of lifestyle do you want to live? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Don't say that, okay,
Mhm.
I want to be leading this and this company, or I want to be a coach, or I want to have a brand
Mhm.
that sells glasses.
Yeah.
That's really difficult to know today, but just start thinking with, okay, where do you want to live? Do you want to live in Bali, or do you want to have a house in Chicago and just be able
Yeah.
to support your family? Uh, how is that lifestyle that you want to have? Do you want to work every day? Do you want to just work part time? Start with little things like that, and then have a vision. You have something to look forward, have something to manifest forward, and then things, and just trust that things will fall
Yeah.
into all places.
And I think it's so important to remember your why and where you're going because it's easy to get frustrated when you're not there. But like you just mentioned, if you have all that written down and you have all that, your path where you want it to go, it makes it easier to keep going when there are bumps in the road.
Mhm. Yes, the why is very important, and maybe you start to know yourself as well. And that exercise, a week where I do this exercise with each of my clients when we start working together, is your, I think, understanding your deep why. So basically, say,
Mhm.
okay, so why do you start this? They tell you something. Then I said, okay, but why is that important for you? And you just go, keep going, 7 layers, 8 layers. Why is that important for you? So
Yeah.
you say, oh, I want to have more money. Why is that important for you? I want to support my family. Why do you want to support your family? Maybe it's
Yeah.
something that you were not able to do as a kid, and now it's important for you to. So really dig down, go many layers deep down into what it is. And you might find amazing things that will be your deep why and will always be there. When you have those moments, I had those moments. I remember when I launched my membership platform in Lithuania. And at the beginning, it didn't went well. It didn't go well. I thought, okay, I'm gonna launch it. I'll have so many subscribers. That yes, that was not the case. And I had so many moments I just wanted to hide under my blanket and just I
Mhm.
want to disappear. But these were the moments where I was thinking, okay, I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing it
Yeah.
for others. Because my deep why is to show other women that it's possible. We can be independent. We can also create a meaningful business that generates money. It's not just men that can then, because somehow in my world, it always used to be that, oh, women, yes, they can create a business, but it's more they're playing business.
Yeah.
It can't
Yeah.
be really successful. And I said, no, it's bigger than, so I have to get back to the world, even if I only have, I don't know, 15 subscribers today, and my goal was to have 30, it's okay.
Yep.
I'm helping already 15 people, right?
Yeah, I love it. I really appreciate you sharing your story today. If somebody wanted to work with you or reach out, how could they do that? And then what could they expect?
So the best way to find me is probably on Instagram.
Mhm.
I share my stories daily from my life, my ups and downs, and that is on Dovile Sinke. It's pretty difficult to pronounce, so I guess in the show
I'll
notes.
link it in the show notes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. You can also find me. I have a website, and there you will find links to my mentoring program that I offer, and also to my agency. If you want more support on being visible on Google. So that's what my agency do. And personally, I do coach women that want to start a business or they want to grow their service-based business. So I
I
mainly work with coaches or people that are starting agencies, just like I did myself.
I love it. I absolutely love your story, and I wanna thank you for being so candid and honest that it wasn't all roses and butterflies and an easy path, because I think we need to know when we're going out and doing something new that it's not always easy, and other people do struggle. When we make everything look so perfect on Instagram, it doesn't help the rest of us, so I appreciate you being so candid and honest.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I think we always think that there's overnight success and that person made it. But if you dig deeper, it's only the tip of the iceberg, right? There's so
Yeah.
much underneath it, and we usually tend to forget it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. So thank you for the reminder. And all right, bold goal crushers, it is time to get out there and crush your goals and everything that gets in the way so you don't have to work double time. Have a good one. Thank you for tuning in to the Bold Goal Crusher podcast, where we crush goals and everything that gets in the way. I always love to support my community. Thanks for tuning in.